Our world is such a vast and astonishing place, full of different forms of life. Most importantly, it's our planet that we call home. As humans, it's our responsibility as the dominant and most capable race on Earth to help nourish and preserve our planet in order to make it habitable for generations to come. But, as of late, we have done quite the opposite. With our atmosphere progressively getting worse, water slowly running scarce, and the global population showing no signs of plateauing, scientists and people begin to look for answers. While prominent late ideas such as driving an electric car and using solar energy do work, there's a more affordable and simplistic way that we as common people of Earth can do. As you can see in this chart from Vegan Outreach, the number of people in the United States who have switched to a plant-based diet over a 26-year period of time has grown exponentially. While this is promising growth, this only accounts for 0.23% of the US population in the year 2020. You might be thinking to yourself, well, okay, cool stat, but how is this more energy efficient and beneficial than eating meat? Well, as you can see in this visual, it is way more costly to produce just 1 pound of beef than it is to produce 1 pound of soy. So, switching seems like a no-brainer. But the problem is that a majority of the population is still hooked on meat. Australian ethicist Peter Seeger estimated that a mere 314.14 million tons of meat are consumed globally each year. With the great supply, there must come great demand. In the same study, Singer elaborated on how much methane and greenhouse gases that livestock, specifically cattle, produce, and in light of the high consumption of meat, they produce more harmful gases annually than modern cars do. On top of that, Singer even found that a chicken processing plant uses 5 million liters of water each day to wash away blood and guts, which is the same amount consumed by 25,000 people in Western countries per day. But how available are plant-based products? In order to find out, I went to the local grocery store in my town to explore and try to find foods that are not derived from animal products. When you walk in, there are your typical fruits and vegetables, which are a given of course, but I wanted to try to find something out of the ordinary and develop for the plant-based palate. Adjacent to the vegetables is the daunting meat section, which was vast with a variety of different animal products. From different cuts of steak to chicken and hot dogs, there was more variety than I could have ever imagined. At this point, a little concern began to grow and how much shelf space would be left for vegan products. But, to my dismay, the search was far from over. The more I looked, the faster these products began to present themselves, from various nut products to pizzas and burgers, and even a plant-based energy drink. But who actually religiously sticks to a plant-based diet? On top of that, how much success is one able to achieve with such an outrageous diet? Enter Tom Brady. According to Brady's book, The TB12 Method, his diet consists of a high-protein plant-based diet that excludes gluten and dairy, among other things. Brady claims that his plant-based diet helps fuel him for the biggest moments and the hardest training sessions, which ultimately contributes to all of his championships and accolades over the many years he's played football professionally. I mean, seriously, the diet helped transform this man into a future Hall of Famer and a 7-time world champion. So we know it's good for the environment and professional athletes like Tom Brady, but just how exactly good is it for us common people? Well, it's not just as good, but it's better for us to supply our bodies with plant-based food. Plant-based diets do not give out any dangerous bacteria or lactic acid that meat does. In a health study conducted by University professor Jim Mann, they found that the mortality from ischemic heart disease was 24% lower in vegetarians than meat eaters, which just goes to show the benefits. And, more often than not, the taste between animal and plant products can be made eerily similar in order to help the transition. And so, with that in mind, I decided to conduct an experiment where I get the same amount of sleep, eat the same breakfast, but drink a different energy drink before the gym. 1 Red Bull, and then 1 plant-based. All right, so now for the review. Just a disclaimer, first of all, I kind of picked Red Bull to be the control, just so I can test against it, just because it's really popular. Taurine isn't made from animals as it is synthetic, which is a big ingredient in this. And I guess there's just like a little gray area where some of those things are artificial rather than made from animals, which also necessarily does not mean it's very good for you. As for the performance of the workout, I took both of these drinks about give or take 20 minutes before I began working out. Red Bull advertises that it vitalizes the body and the mind, which I can speak for the body. I definitely felt more energized for sure. I'm not so much sure about more focused though. That's one thing that this lacks for sure. I've definitely had different kinds of Red Bulls, just different flavors. I mean, that obviously doesn't play a huge part, but definitely like the lack of focus is just killer, especially like if people take it. I think that the energy wise, the Red Bull was really good, reliable, but it's just the focus part is where it lacks and kind of falls off. I also think it was better tasting, probably because it's artificial. The last thing I do want to add about the Red Bull is that I had never had this flavor before, and I kind of just did a flavor that would, is similar. So like this one's cherry watermelon and this one's watermelon. So I didn't want to go into it just picking my favorite flavor of Red Bull, so there's no bias in that. So I totally tasted this for the first time. As for the plant-based drink, I really liked it. I really did. I think the one trade-off it has compared to the Red Bull is that it does not taste as good. And that's probably because the Red Bull has artificial flavoring and stuff, and this doesn't. But honestly, it's a great trade-off because comes the focus aspect that the Red Bull would fail to deliver. And on top of that, really healthy energy, really sustainable energy. It doesn't crash you immediately. It's really gradual when it wears off. I really liked it. It carried me through my workout, so I will continue to use it in the future. And I'd recommend it to anyone who is looking for a new energy drink, honestly, which is really nice for the plant-based community, seeing as finally there's some great products that are starting to hit the mainstream. That being said, there's no time to waste. It's time to switch to plant-based.